Hi, Justin Deering here. Uh, just want to do a quick wrench teardown and show off some stuff I got in a estate sale. So, yeah, this is a fine 10-inch file, a little rusty, but I will be repairing this. I will be cleaning it out. Uh, this is, I might do the acid method. I might do acid. Uh, I definitely hit it with the file card. That was not particularly great. But what I will do before I do the acid is use a piece of copper pipe. Plenty of videos on YouTube on how to do that. Maybe I'll make my own. This was a half-round bastard file. I already have one of these, but I got a bunch of tools basically for less than $1 each. What it came down to, I paid $5 for like 6 tools plus a puzzle for my daughter that was brand new in the box, in the plastic still. Yeah, I wasn't going to turn down files. This wrench I'll get to in a little bit. And then I got these for $1 each. These were a separate purchase at the same estate sale when I went back there later. This is a super rusty ball peen hammer. I'm told the brand by the red handle, fiberglass handle, is probably a Plum. I might do a de-rusting video on this via electrolysis. I got this. This was in much better shape. I was able to clean this up with a wire wheel very well. It's still rusty, but anyway, this is seems to be a 2-pound. I didn't weigh it, but probably 2 pounds from the size. Cross peen hammer, which wooden handle, seems to be pretty solid. The way I cut that copper pipe open, this was a copper pipe. They took this out. This was connecting my dishwasher to the, this was the hot, I believe this was the hot water intake for my dishwasher. Yeah, it was just flexible, it was flexed copper, well, not flexed, it's bent copper tubing. This is the kind that you just kind of bend to the shape you want. Not as bendable as flex hose, of course. Anyway, so I saw them took that, and I said, yeah, I'm going to keep this. But anyway, this side I just flattened with my vise. I know you shouldn't use a vise as a press, but hey, it's copper, no big deal. This one, now I flatten this out, I open it up. I open it up with this. These are tin snips. These are about 10 inches long. Basically, yeah, they're just scissors with a long handle for leverage and a thick head cut to an obtuse angle for cutting metal. They work really well with soft metal. They seem to be a bit rusty. But anyway, they served my purpose. Less than $1. So that's what I'm going to talk about. This is, yeah, so I actually had another one of these I bought for $1 at another estate sale, and I can't find it now. I don't know how it disappeared. I have an idea how it disappeared. But anyway, this one was a little rusty, or just not very rust, but it was not moving well. Now it's moving pretty well. I stuck some PB Blaster in there, and it got moving really well. And then I discovered I could take this one apart. I'm going to do the teardown for you. So in here is a little slotted set screw. What is a set screw? A set screw is a bolt without a head. So that is the technical name for it, a set screw. You can go to, anyway. Also basically, as you can see, well, I guess this technically has a head. And that this is a round rod that's been partially threaded, but basically, yeah, there's no separate head thing. This is just there's a slot over here. Now they make set screws that are basically a short length of threaded rod with a hex hole in them for like an Allen key wrench. Bigger ones tend to be like that, but especially on older tools and older stuff, you'll find set screws tend to be slotted. Anyway, so that's in there. that allows me to take this piece off. This is, of course, the piece that I can use to adjust the width of the wrench. And what's interesting, and I found this is actually a fairly standard thing, this spring here, all of the adjustable wrenches have a little spring inside of this that goes inside of here, and this is literally how, and this is apparently to keep tension on it, and this is actually a necessary part. Anyway, I wiped this off with a rag. I got this moving enough, and this obviously comes out over here. Use a little bit of a rag in here. I could get this a lot cleaner. I read you don't want to like really lubricate this, so I've got several choices for lubricants. I could put lithium. I have PB Blaster Teflon, which seems to deliver. It's nothing like regular PB Blaster. It's not a penetrating oil. It seems to be a highly highly volatile, like a denatured alcohol or brake cleaner type substance. It's definitely not as nasty and dangerous as brake cleaner. With a Teflon powder in the solution, and basically you spray that on, and what you're left with, and as you can see, my hands here are really dirty. I didn't, do a perfect job of cleaning this off. I could clean this off. Basically, in here there's a bunch of dirt. But yeah, I could clean this off. Anyway, you're left with Teflon powder. It's very popular among locksmiths for locks and for doorknobs. Apparently, even WD-40 leaves too much of a sticky residue for locks. But I could do that over here. The problem with a dry lubricant like a Teflon is it doesn't handle any level of moisture. I could also use lithium grease, which is just regular grease. Now, what is the difference between... Now, grease is not thick oil. Grease is actually a combination of oil and soap, okay? And the soap used in lithium grease is made from lithium and usually mixed with, a petroleum byproduct kind of grease. They apparently appeared or developed either during or right after World War II. But the great thing about greases is they do not drip, and they basically provide some kind of protection against, they don't, water doesn't wash them away as well. Anyway, I put this back together. This opens up. This says it's 8 inches long. I won't measure it. It opens and closes relatively well. I don't know if this color is some kind of like thin rust coating or not. But anyway, it's teeth here in here are very smooth. There's actually some gunk in here. I could clean this up a little more. Let me go measure. Use my calipers to measure the fully open length of this. Anyway. Measuring I'm just going to read this over here. So I'm reading 1 tick mark. Let me just go. Okay, there we go. See, I'm reading 1 tick mark before the 1 inch, so I'm reading 15/16 of an inch. So we've got almost an inch of opening over here. Not bad for less than $1. It's a handy wrench. Yeah, it's a handy wrench. It's solid metal. It has all the problems of an adjustable wrench, all the advantages of one. And yes, this is why I really recommend estate sales. Okay, if you're like me, you don't have an incredibly large tool collection. There's stuff you want. I'm not, if I'm at Home Depot, I'm not going to buy an adjustable wrench just because. I'm not going to spend the $20 or the $10, even the $5 or the $5 for like a made in China one, right? I am going to spend, $1 though, or even less than $1 for one. Even if it's of Rex 10 seems to be the only branding. There's a lot of writing on it, but it all seems to be Rex 10 is the only thing that would indicate. Oh, PEX 10 might be the brand. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is worth $1. You know, absolutely. You know, if I needed an adjustable wrench, yeah, I would go out to Home Depot and buy one. But this is a, you know, thing worth having if I can get one on the cheap. You know, same thing with this file, right? Beautiful file. I don't have a fine file this long. You know, for the price I paid for it, it's worth the fact. I'm going to spend some time restoring it. I'll learn how to restore a file. You know, if it ends up not working, you know, I've lost basically $1. Gained some knowledge. Maybe decided that, okay, it's hard to restore a file. I'll just go buy a cheap Husky file or a Harbor Freight file, or maybe I'll sit there and, you know, buy a Nicholson file. You know, also, while I also do already have a fine file, if you want to file softer metals like copper or brass, you know, it's been suggested you have just one set of files for doing brass. I don't do a lot of brass work, but, you know, for $1, having a file to dedicate to brass, or to maybe later in life, you know, retire to a brass file is worth doing. So yeah, that was that. I also did get a really tiny C-clamp, which I keep with my collection of C-clamps. You can never have too many clamp-like things. Yeah, that's a small one. I'm at the point now where I feel I have enough, you know, small clamp. I only want either, you know, bigger clamps, you know, bigger clamps, specialty clamps, maybe, you know, clamps with wide jaws or whatever. But now that I own, you know, 4 clamps, I feel I have enough C clamps. Let's see what else I can get. Anyway, so that was it. So that was a tear down of a wrench and a going over some tools I got. Okay, thanks for watching, folks.